Let me again start with the concepts. So last class we started with the software process activity. So we discussed with what are agile process, what is the basic difference between the traditional waterfall model with the concept of agile. So just have a recap. So diagrammatic representation for a waterfall model. And what is the major drawback of the waterfall model that you have to definitely write when it might be asked. So that is, it is a very difficult for accommodating the changes, any sort of changes that cannot be done after the process is underway. That is, a phase has to complete before moving on to the next phase. Until unless you cannot move. Once you start development, requirement cannot be changed. So that is a major concept. That is, while designing a program, your inputs are fixed. Only you need to check that program only with that system. Right? If at all, if you want to change, a process has to complete completely before moving to the, so that is a major drawback. Until and unless you don't complete this, you cannot move further. So this is a concept of a waterfall model. So same phases as per the diagram being explained, you need to go through. The drawbacks you need to explain. And when do we go for a waterfall model? If that is asked, you should be in a position to explain. Only if the requirement is understood well, then only we can go for waterfall model. So let me continue the incremental development. So incremental development is a part of agile process. As I said, when I say difference between an agile process and a agile process. So in this case, the planning is incremental and the changes or a modification could be done in between the process, so that the changes could be reflected for the based on the customer requirement. So I discussed this. So incremental development, you could see the concurrent activities as a whole. This is one system: specification, development, validation. Here, this could be also an examination question. What is explain incremental development and the problem faced by the incremental development? I last ended the session with reuse oriented software engineering. So diagrammatically, I tried to explain what is the reuse oriented software engineering. So you just review. Software specification is what? It is the initial process. What are the services required and what are the constraints for it? That will be explained. So requirement engineering process. The diagrammatically, you could explain or elaborate requirement engineering process as such. Feasibility study, feasibility report. What is feasibility study or feasibility report? Whether the requirement given by the customer could be satisfied or not. Based on that, a report has to be given. So that is called feasibility report. Then the gathered information are elaborated. So that is called requirement elicitation and analysis. Maybe a model could be developed based on the analysis that is being made. From these elicitation, So elicitation basically there will be a discussion between the client and the customer. Based on this, a requirement will be targeted, in the sense we will finalize the requirement. So that is called requirement specification. So you could see the communication, once you gather the requirement specification, again you collect from requirement elicitation and analysis. So this is a continuous process. Once you gather the requirement specification, right? So we have a, in between we have a development. So once you develop it, the question could be, explain requirement engineering process. That is, how do you scrutinize the requirement? How do you scrutinize the requirement? So requirement validation is what? Is it a final validation? No, definitely not. Whether the gathered requirement or the collected finalized requirement, whether valid or not, can it be tested with respect to the test cases while development? So that is being discussed. And always there is a theoretical report based on this. So requirement document will be generated. So let me go to the spiral model. So because we are discussing this concept, requirement engineering process. See, requirement elicitation and analysis. So what I'll do today, I'll go with the spiral model. Any left out concept that we will discuss once we complete this spiral model and the software process models. Okay, let me come to the third software process activities here. After incremental model, it is a spiral model, a regular question that is being the examination. So it is called a Boehm spiral model. It is also one of the process activity. Okay, so now the diagram is, maybe it is visible or not, I don't know. I've enlarged it. So you could say what is spiral. So you could see the spiral structure starting from the review. What is this? You have requirement plan or life cycle plan. So it moves. So whatever the things that you come up, you have risk analysis. So you have prototype one, the concept of operation. Then the spiral moves again. You have a risk analysis and every stage of the spiral. And we have a prototype being defined in individual stage of the spiral. You could see this is one area, this is one area, this is the third, and this is the fourth area. And individual area has got risk analysis altogether and prototypes altogether. And the prototype 4 is not prototype 4. We don't write prototype 4. Simply we say operational prototype. This is a final prototype. Clear? Similarly, when you move out from the requirement, what is the next step? You develop prototype 2. So these are all the concurrent activities that goes on, simulation models, benchmarks and all. So in general, whenever you have a requirement, after requirement is gathered, you do develop, right? Parallelly, you have validation, right? Based on the software requirement. Then what do you do? Finally, you do unit test and integrate it. Is it or not? So one more diagram I just wanted to show you in simple diagram for a spiral model. So this is into the chapter 4, in fact. So you find it easy. A spiral view of the requirement engineering process. It is not Bohem spiral model, but spiral model could be used in different areas of software engineering. In fact, this is for the understanding. I'm just showing it. For the examination, you don't have to write this diagram. You have to write that diagram. Okay. So this is into the chapter 4. The spiral starts from here. Start. So everywhere there is a feasibility study. What is requirement elicitation? You have requirement validation. This diagram discusses all about requirement engineering process. You stress more on the word called requirement, not any other word. It is only on the first step of the software engineering called requirement. Is it or not? Try to understand. So why I'm trying to show you this diagram, because it is not a difficult diagram or to understand the concept. How he has divided the spiral model among the different types of requirement. That is requirement specification. Try to understand. Requirement elicitation. This is one part. Hopefully you can see requirement validation. Able to understand, all of you? So just concentrate, all of you. See, on the part of requirement specification, we have business requirement specification, user requirement specification, system. So all goes from lower level to the top level. Similarly, when you say requirement elicitation, so requirement elicitation is a primary part of requirement specification. See, this spiral moves like this. Got it? So it starts from requirement elicitation, then requirement specification, requirement validation. First spiral completed. Again, second spiral. The second part of the spiral moves from requirement elicitation, requirement specification, requirement validation. Finally, the third. Again, the third spiral moves from requirement elicitation, specification, and validation. So in every part of the spiral, there will be some sort of activities that being done with respect to the various concepts. Clear? Now let me again go to the same chapter 2 spiral model. Hopefully it is visible. So this is a Bohem spiral model. Just try to analyze the diagram. Hopefully it is visible. This diagram explains the risk-driven process. Simple, concept is very simple. Here the software process is represented as a spiral. Rather than previously we have seen the sequence of activities with backtracking, right? In a waterfall model, we have a backtracking from one activity to another. Even in the incremental process, we have a backtracking activity, right? Each loop in the spiral here, this is called a loop. Each loop in the spiral represents a phase of the software process. That is individual phase of a software process. Phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4. So innermost loop. So this is the innermost. Remember at the start, the innermost loop, maybe it is concerned with the system feasibility. Got it? This is for a system feasibility. So next loop is related to the requirement definition or the regarding requirement engineering process. That is requirement definition. So third loop deals with the system design. Got it? This is the third loop. System design is product design. Once again, I'm stressing. So in the case of spiral model, the first loop is this. This is the loop. Once you start with the review, it related with the system feasibility. Feasibility means whether the requirements are correct or not, whether it could be achieved or not. The next loop is with the requirement definition. You come with the proper definition, right? You scrutinize from the elicitation process and you scrutinize the requirement definition. The third loop is with the system design. Got? So finally, the spiral model combines all these processes. It assumes that the changes could be a result of project risk. So overall, there are 4 sectors in this spiral model. So it is being divided into 4 sectors. Clear? So theoretically speaking, we have 4 sectors such as objective settings, the risk assessment. So third, as I said, development and validation. Fourth is a proper planning. The fourth, as I said, the planning. Here the final project is reviewed, and basically the decision made whether to continue with the defined loop of the spiral or not. So the third loop, development and validation. The product design is called development and validation. That is the spiral comes after the risk evaluation. A model could be developed here. And second, prototype 2, it is called risk assessment and reduction. So that is why it's called risk analysis. In fact, risk analysis is there in every stage of the spiral. So here review, this first spiral is called as objective setting. So I would like to say the main difference between the spiral and the other software process is that it explicitly shows what all the risk involved in the individual spiral. Each cycle of the spiral begins by giving the objectives, such as what could be the performance or what could be the functionality. So the diagram is quite important for examination point of view. So you have to write in the case of the operational and prototype. So detailed design, that is a product to be delivered, which has gone through various sorts of testing, acceptance, integration unit. These are all the part of the testing. So what is design V and V? Verification and validation. So you verify the design, verify and validate it. So here also we do perform integration and test plan. Product design is a final product that is being developed based on the system requirement. The system requirement also consists of what is the software. So it is a software requirement, because you need to, before you develop anything, so on which software do you develop? That is also an important point. So this is all about the spiral model. So this is what I explained. You have spiral model, you have waterfall model, and you have incremental, 3 major models. You can give the attendance meanwhile.